Hello. Want to make your charitable donations go further? Of course you do. Today, we're going to walk through a fantastic tool for doing just that, UK Gift Aid. And to make sure we get this absolutely right, we've developed this entire guide with the experts over at My Tax Accountant. So, let's get into how you can seriously boost your giving. Yep, the folks at My Tax Accountant really know their stuff when it comes to the UK tax system. That means everything we're about to cover is spot on and genuinely useful. All right, let's dive in. Okay, let's kick things off with a pretty shocking number, 4 million. That's how many fewer donors there are in the UK right now compared to just a few years ago in 2019. Think about that. That's a massive blow for the charities we all rely on and support. So, with the cost of living being what it is, it really begs the question, right? How can we make every single pound we donate work as hard as possible? How do we give smarter? Well, the answer is actually pretty straightforward, and it comes from a brilliant government scheme. And that answer is gift aid. I'm sure you've seen that little tick box on donation forms, but what is it really? Well, stick with me, because it's basically a free boost for your donation. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and we're about to get into exactly how it all works. Okay, so here's the deal. Gift aid is a UK government scheme that lets charities claim back the basic rate tax you've already paid on the money you're donating. So for every single pound you give, the charity can go to HMRC and get an extra 25p. And the best part? That extra cash comes straight from the taxman, not from you. Let's put some numbers to this to make it crystal clear. Imagine you want to donate 100 quid to a charity you really care about. It's your hard-earned money, you've already paid your taxes on it, and now you want to make a difference with it. All you do is tick that little gift aid box, and just like that, your £100 donation is suddenly worth £125 to the charity. They get to claim that extra £25 back from the government. It's a 25% boost, completely free of charge to you. How amazing is that? Okay, quick did you know moment, and this one is super important. To use gift aid, you have to be a UK taxpayer. But here's the catch. You need to have paid enough income or capital gains tax to cover the 25% the charity is going to reclaim. So on that £100 donation, the charity reclaims £25, which means you must have paid at least that much in tax that year. A lot of people get this wrong, so it's definitely something to keep in mind. But wait. There's more, because if you're a higher rate taxpayer, this is where gift aid gets really interesting. It's not just about the charity getting more, it's about you getting something back too. This is the next level of smart giving. So how does that work? Well, if you pay tax at 40%, or even the 45% additional rate, you can actually claim back the difference between your tax rate and the basic 20% rate that the charity claimed. It's a personal tax relief that, honestly, so many people don't even know exists. Let's bring this to life with an example. Meet Aisha. She's a freelance designer based in London, and she pays tax at 40%. She makes that same £100 donation and ticks the gift aid box. So the charity gets its £125, which is fantastic. But then Aisha can claim back the difference between her 40% rate and the 20% basic rate. That's another 20% or £25 straight back in her pocket through her tax return. So in the end, that huge £125 gift for her charity only cost her £75. Now that's what I call smart. Now, there's another way to do this that's even more efficient, especially if you're employed. It's called payroll giving. This is where your donation comes out of your pay before tax is even calculated. So look at this. A £10 donation costs a basic rate taxpayer £8. But for a higher rate taxpayer, it only costs you £6. And for an additional rate taxpayer, just £5.50. The tax relief is baked right in. No forms, no fuss. It's brilliant. All right, time to look to the future, because things are about to change. The government is bringing in some new rules in a couple of years, and it's definitely something you'll want to be aware of. Yet, these new rules are coming from the Finance Bill for 2025-26, and they're set to kick in from April 2026. The whole idea is to tighten things up and make sure the system is being used correctly. So what's actually changing? Stay with me here, we're going to make this simple. First up, tainted donations. The rules are getting tougher. Basically, it means if your donation gets you a significant benefit back, like, say, a cheap ticket to a fancy gala, it could get thrown out, even if you meant well. The focus is shifting from your intent to the actual outcome. The other changes are more for the charities themselves about how they invest money and handle legacies. But for us donors, the big message is that giving needs to be genuine and without any strings attached. You know, with all these changes coming down the pike, it really highlights how important it is to get things right. So it makes you think, what can we be doing right now to make sure our giving is as smart and as effective as it can possibly be? Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. This last part is all about practical, actionable stuff. How to actually claim the tax relief you're owed. And maybe more importantly, the common traps to avoid. You'll want to listen closely here, because this is where a lot of people go wrong. So, if you're a high-rate taxpayer like Aisha, how do you get that money back? It's easy. You've got two main options. The most common way is just to pop it on your annual self-assessment tax return. There's a whole section for it. Or you can give HMRC a call and ask them to change your PAYE tax code. That way, you get the relief spread out through the year in your pay packet. All right, let's talk about the top mistakes people make. Number 1, not actually paying enough tax to cover the gift aid that's being claimed on all your donations. Number 2, losing the paperwork. Always keep your receipts. 3, and this one is huge, higher rate taxpayers just forgetting to claim their relief. Don't leave that money on the table. 4, getting mixed up with your partner's donations. You can only claim for what you personally gave. And finally, number 5, messing up the carryback rules, which have really strict deadlines. And that last point brings me to a brilliant pro tip. It's called carrying back. This lets you treat donations you make this tax year as if you made them in the last tax year. Now, why on earth would you do that? Well, it's a game changer. If, say, you were in a higher tax bracket last year than you are this year, it means you can get more tax relief back. It's a fantastic planning tool, but you've got to elect to do it before the tax return deadline. So when you boil it all down, what's the bottom line? Giving smart with gift aid is a massive win-win. The causes you love get a huge extra boost, and your wallet gets a little something back too. It really is about making your generosity work harder for everyone. Now, we have to be really clear about this next part. Everything we've talked about today is for general information purposes. Your own financial situation is unique, so before you go and make any decisions, it is absolutely essential that you speak to a proper tax expert. And if you want to be sure you're doing everything by the book, making the biggest impact, and getting your own tax situation sorted, well, the best thing to do is get some advice that's tailored just for you. And for that, you can't do better than the experts we've been working with. For personalized advice on gift aid, charitable giving, or really any tax questions at all, get in touch with the team at My Tax Accountant. Their details are right there for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really hope you feel ready to go out there and make your generosity count for even more.